remember that day, leaving Africa and coming to Australia? It was October of 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
It's a remarkable journey that you travelled to that point, that day, getting on a plane. Tell me about that day.
The first thing which happened, I was thinking myself, like, how am I going to live in a new country? It was a new chapter to me. So, and it was, moreover, it was my first time to get on a plane.
Yes. Which is a big deal in itself, isn't it?
So the beginning of life, the new life, that was the first time to get on a plane.
To start your new life.
Yeah.
What was your comprehension, your idea of what Australia was like at that stage?
To myself, I don't know if it's a poor philosophy. I thought maybe since the people living in Australia, they are white, maybe even the soil will be white. I thought maybe there is no trees. Maybe there is no sun. Maybe we aren't lucky ones to have sun in Africa, because like the volunteers were coming from America, they were saying, oh, the sun in Africa is beautiful. And then I could mind myself, maybe where they came from, there is no sun. Then my intention was just to go and see the new country and see by myself if the soil is red and there is no sun, there is no trees. But I could imagine how I'm going to live there. Then, well, we're traveling almost like a night, the whole night, and then we got to Sydney Airport. And when I got to Sydney Airport, I felt like, is this the country now? Is this Australia? The only thing which I saw after exit of the Sydney Airport was just the yellow cabs everywhere. The yellow cabs everywhere. The yellow cabs everywhere. So I thought like, those are the police in Australia. So from that point, because in Africa, to see the police is either they are doing their duties. So I said, no, now peace comes. That's when I started. That's why I started imagining myself that if the police are everywhere, the country is secured. So there is no more fearing, no more fear again, because I can see the police everywhere while they were yellow cabs. So we went from Sydney to Brisbane. It was night when Access volunteers, workers came to pick us from the Brisbane airport. And I said, I can't imagine this. I thought maybe we'll be living nearby the airport because I'm already tired. Like, I haven't slept, and tried to ask them. They say, no, it's not, there is no quite a long distance, but we're getting there. And then they took me to a place called Woodridge. And when I got inside the house, they say, this is your house. And I say, oh, okay. The new things are coming. Where I was, I had no house. I had no even intention of buying my own house. Then someone comes and says, this is your house.
Yeah, this is for you.
Then I say, okay. I lived there almost like 3 weeks. I wasn't 3 weeks on my own. I wasn't coming outside. Because my neighbors, I could just start like the life, how I'm going to live, how I'm going to make new friends, how I'm going to to get education. And my friends, there was a couple of friends who were here, and they were coming like from work and telling me, oh, they come to visit me. Hey, this is how Australia is. You can't live without working. So we're coming from work now. We're tired. We'll see you again. And I was like, they're working. I didn't focus on how much they're being paid, but my intention was saying, like, go to work. The other knowledge was saying, like, no, first get to know education system in Australia. But let me do something which can really give the positive stuff to the community, back to the community, aid the back where I come from. So I say, no, let me do justice studies, which I'm doing now, which I'm happy, understanding the laws of Australia, understanding how each and everyone can be treated the same, understanding the community of Australians, how they live, and getting much to know who I am, who they are, introducing them to themselves, having much conversations. And now I'm doing what I can call the help or feedback to community, which I'm helping the new families who comes from Australia through MDA, which is Multicultural Development Association, and I'm very happy to be volunteer with them.
You've always been conscious of trying to give something back at the same time. Through this whole journey, there's always been part of you that's always trying to pay it back and pay it forward.
Yeah. I couldn't see it as I was getting the rich knowledge that I was getting. I was also trying to transfer that knowledge to refugees, either the young ones, the elder ones. If you look at back, like in Zambia, I was peer educator for HIV and AIDS in the community of refugees. I was also teaching the orphans children how to read and write in their own languages, which is very much nice. And also when I got here, between 2011 and 12, I was working as UN for Australia, the United Nations for Australia, just fundraising the money to refugees, people who were coming from Somalia to the Dadaab refugee camp, and Asian Pacific refugees, all those countries which were affected by war. I was doing fundraising. Yeah.
There's quite a significant Rwandan African population here in Brisbane these days.
Yeah.
Supportive community. Everybody's got a story to tell about how they came here.
I believe everyone have got different stories to tell.
Yeah.
There is more shocked stories, but people are not the same. The way I can tell the story is not the way my friend can tell the story. Maybe if he tells the story, or if she tries to release the information, he will be affected by that information, either through traumatized or sort of that. So some of the people, they pretend to hide themselves, which also brings a bad impact to them. Yeah, because like I always talk to different people who are doing counseling, especially in MDAs and Access and these organizations which helps refugees. Some of the counselors may want to help, but when they are talking to their clients, because they are from different backgrounds, especially Africa, whereby it's very rude to look at somebody straight to eye contact. It's very rude. So they pretend like everything which we're saying is yes. But something is going on in their heart. So it's very, even now it's still complicated. That's what affected also, especially the Africans, refugees, to find a job in Australia. Because much in Australia is to sell yourself and make eye contact and believe in yourself, and then provide those skills to the company. So you find that the employees are asking them, they are just like this down, they are facing down, because
cultural,
they know, they know what to say, they know what to answer, but the culture matters.
It's that crucial point. You know, so many people come from a traumatic background or a life of trauma to come into a life like this, in which ostensibly you've left all that behind, and then trying to complete that transition, a lot of that can actually really affect you badly. The effects of post-traumatic stress and everything else. Has it been an easy transition for you to live here and to take on this life?
It hasn't been easy, but sometimes, because I believe in myself, I believe that still, even if I'm still, because you can't forget all the past, because we all learn from the past to make a better life. So sometimes I do stress for a lot, like if my mom calls me, because now she's alive now. I just knew that she's alive after the whole, when she left when I was 8 years. Now I know that she's alive and she's not in a good condition.
She's living back in Rwanda?
Yeah, back in Rwanda. And when she calls me, maybe she says, no, now I can't even believe that you are my son, because the voice changes. I wish if I can see you. And I can imagine how, like, when am I going to see her? What sort of strategies that I can do to see her? Those are the kind of stuff that gives me stress. Sometimes I had a stress where the muscles can stiffen and like that. I had a physio doctor here at somewhere at Milton, who's a good physio. So he always tells me, Pacific, try to relax the muscles and do the stuff for physio, I don't know. And sometimes I feel better.
Yeah.
But when I reflect back, definitely I say stress can be measured. I can measure my stress, my own stress, and try to maintain it.
Yep.
How I try to maintain it and find the solution of being calm myself, I just involve in acting. When
and this is something that's always been in your mind, and you've been able to call on your own life experiences in this production that you've been involved in. Here in Brisbane. Tell me about this. This is a play called I Am Here. Tell me about that.
I'm Here. It's quite significant, which very huge. I can call it very huge theatre, which brought us together as we came from different background and different countries. Like we involved, we are 6 people, but when we started I'm Here theatre, we are so many, but other people were just quitting. Yep. But we remained as 6, like Sanet, she's from Ethiopia, Levi is from Sudan, Kosire, she's from Sudan, I'm from Rwanda, Eric Akagorola is from Rwanda too. He was raised in South Africa, I was raised in Zambia, so we are picking different culture, and then we came together here in Brisbane and decided to come up with the huge stuff, which is I'm Here, which is explaining the whole way journey from your home country to Australia. That's why we call it to say, no, we are here. But being here, we are here for the purpose. Our purpose is to tell the stories the way they are, based on true stories, nothing to change, nothing to add on, just tell the person the way you are, so that we can change the Australian perspectives on how they see us here. So we have made different shows, and the feedback is still positive. We are trying to say maybe the show can be taken to Canberra, but now the debate said no. The show has to come back to Brisbane.
So well received here in Brisbane that they want it again.
In September, after the show has been to Queensland Theatre Company, which we believe that we are told that we are the first black people to perform at Queensland Theatre Company.
Wow.
Which is a huge talent.
That's a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned your mother. Do you see a time in the future where perhaps your mother and your sisters will be able to come to Australia?
That's quite a big question, but to me, I don't understand, because I've tried so many channels. I've tried the legal services, I've tried to find the lawyers. My last lawyer said, it will be sure if you was 18, but now since you are 18 plus, you have to support your family on your own. It's either you have to ask them to come when you have got the money to support them here, then definitely that will work out. So I don't know when I can get that money. And then the other option is to stay here, get Australian citizen, then I go to see them, which I cannot even myself encourage to, because if I left the country unsafe and still having the news from that country that the country itself again is not safe, why should I go there again? So it's something still complicated to see them. That's where more stress comes from.
Yeah, I'll bet it does. You've achieved so much.
I believe I can achieve some. I still have a long way to go. But
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a wonderful opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's all we have time for. You can find this episode on the 31 Digital YouTube channel. And of course, you can like Turning Points on Facebook. Next week, I'll talk to one of Australia's most celebrated and sought after hip hop artists about life growing up in the Northern Territory, being a fish out of water in your own country, and the dark side of the high life. I'm Shaun Bindley. Good night.